Hey, what's up? It's Thomas Breedlove. In this video, we're going to discuss exactly how you can plan your career. So, how can you make a plan for your career so that you can be successful, fulfilled, make more money than you thought possible? How can you plan your career so that you can move up and predictably move up so that you can see promotions in the future, or at least ways that you can have upward mobility throughout your profession? Because here's the deal, nobody else is going to plan your career for you. You have to plan your career. You have to decide where you want to go. And the great thing is that you have the capability to rise more than you even know. Like you have to believe in your own ability. And if you don't believe in your own ability yet, you got to work really hard so that you do believe in your own ability. I remember when I first stepped into business, I was super insecure, super insecure. I never wanted to open my mouth. I never wanted to say anything because I just didn't want to say anything stupid. I didn't believe in my own problem solving ability. I didn't believe in my own thinking ability, but I started reading. I started listening to podcasts. I started listening to audiobooks. I started slowly opening up out of that shell. I'm naturally extroverted, but in those situations in business meetings, I would keep my mouth shut because I didn't want to say anything stupid. Guys, you're never going to be able to reach your full potential in your career. You're never going to be able to reach where you want to go in your career if you're constantly keeping your mouth shut and you're not solving problems and sharing your insight on things. But in order for it to feel confident that you have good insight, you need to train, you need to be ready to solve problems whenever they come up. So first of all, you need to know where you're going in your career. So what's your big goal? Do you want to be CEO of the company one day, or do you just want to be, kind of a middle management type? Do you have a goal on where you want to go in your career, like a big 10-year vision, 20-year vision, 30-year vision? Like, do you want to be CEO of a company one day? What vision do you have for your career? And it's really important to get that vision, because if you don't have vision, you're not gonna discipline yourself. You have to know where you're going so that you can discipline yourself in order to get there. And we're going to walk through exactly what disciplines you need to have, like how you need to plan your career so that you can reach that goal. But you need to have a vision first. That's the first thing. Where do you want to go in your career? And then let me ask you a question. Once you get where you want to go in your career, is it a big goal? Is it audacious? Is it going to be a stretch for you? If it is, good. If not, you need to dream again. You need to get a new vision. And the reason for this is you're capable of way more than you think you're capable of. Like, God's given you gifts, He's given you talents, and you need to learn how to maximize those in the marketplace. And if you just have these small little bitty goals that don't match up to your talent level or your natural ability, then you're selling yourself short and you're not going to be fulfilled because you're not going to be challenged. When I was in college, I went to Texas A&M. I was a communication degree. I was in communications, and I'll tell you, I hated it. I hated every moment of it in terms of the coursework. It's because I wasn't challenged. It wasn't challenging. You need to be challenged, and when you're challenged and then you overcome it, that's fulfilling. You feel like you're growing. You feel like you're becoming better. But if you're constantly in a stagnant place where you come in, you clock out, you do the same thing over every single day, that will slowly kill you year after year after year. You should always be developing your career, and not just your career, but every area of life. And so don't sell yourself short. I want you to get a big vision on where you want to go, what you want to do in your career. And that's the first step. But from there, it's really important that we start to plan things. So I'm going to walk you through step by step exactly how to plan things. I got this from a book called Full Focus, or Free to Focus, by a guy named Michael Hyatt. It's also kind of covered in the book Traction, which I mentioned in a video a couple days ago. But we're going to walk through exactly how to do this. The first thing you have to do, and I have my notes right here, the first thing you have to do is you have to start out with your big vision. Start out with your big vision. Where do you want to go in your career? And then you need to think, okay, how long will it take to get there? So if you want to be a CEO of a company, okay, usually people like reach executive status, chief executive officer, or maybe you want to be the chief financial officer. People reach that status usually in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and sometimes, usually not, but sometimes even in their early 70s. Right? So it takes years to get to that point. So you need to have that in your mind. You need to be realistic, but also stretch yourself. So stretch yourself with the position you're going for, but be realistic with the time frame that you're going for with. So start out with your big goal. Think about how long it's going to take to get there. Now you need to think about what needs to happen in order for me to get there. So you need to go through the different promotions you're going to have to get along that ladder. How am I going to get there? Who am I going to need to become in order to accomplish that vision? So let's say you're an entry-level employee and you have dreams of one day being a CEO of a company. Who you're going to have to become, you're going to look totally different by the time you're a CEO, because you're going to have to learn how to think better. You're going to have to learn better habits for your daily routine. You're going to have to learn time management. You're going to have to learn how to manage people. You're going to have to learn how to look at P&Ls. You're going to have to learn how to budget properly. You're going to have to learn how to do boardroom meetings. You're going to have to learn all these different things, and that's going to take time to learn. But you need to figure out who you need to become, what you need to learn in order to reach that goal of one day being a CEO. For example, that doesn't have to be your goal. I'm just using that as an example. And so you can start. The great part about that is you can start developing yourself right now. You don't have to wait, and you're never going to reach that one day big vision if you're not developing yourself today. So figure out what needs to happen from now until you reach that goal, who you need to become from now until you reach that goal. So you have that big goal in the future, and you know all the steps between you and that goal. Now you need to ask yourself, what can happen this year? What can I accomplish this year that will help me to move toward that? So what books do you need to read this year? How many books do you need to read this year? What problems can you solve in that company this year that's going to help you bring a lot of value to the table? Who can you invest in? Who can you work with? Who can you work with on a daily basis that's under you that you can help grow their career? Like, how can you develop your leadership in that way? What coach can you invest in? There's all these executive coaches. There's all these people out there that are willing to coach people. Yes, they cost money, but think about that. Like, how can I get in rooms with people that will help me to advance my career and time collapse that? Instead of spending 20 years to learn a lesson, what if I could learn it in 3 hours? So think about what you can accomplish this year, and then you need to think about, what can I accomplish over the next 90 days? I keep talking about the book Traction because that's the book I've been reading lately, and you'll hear me talk about books that I'm reading. The guy who started EOS, his name was Gino Wickman, and he had this big vision of, and I think it was 50,000 people using EOS across the world. Now it's in the hundreds of thousands, I believe. But somebody said, "Well, how are you going to accomplish that huge goal?" I mean, that's a massive goal to have have over 50,000 businesses using your system. And he said, "I'm going to accomplish it 90 days at a time." What can you do over the next 90 days that will help you to move toward your huge vision for your career? And then once you get that 90-day goal and those few things that you can do, pick like 3 to 7 things that you can do over the next 90 days that are going to help you move toward your goal. Ask yourself, what can I do this week and what can I do today? And so what you want to do is you want to take this big vision that you have, and that's great that you have a big vision, and then you want to work backwards to today, where you have vision on, or you have an exact plan on what you can do today to move toward that goal. And if you'll do this, you're going to see so much growth in your career. It's going to blow you away. And the cool part is, it's not just about growing in your career. It's about growing you as a person. Career development is never going to outweigh your personal development. In other words, you're never going to be able to develop your career further than you personally develop. And if you ever surpass your personal development with your career development, you're going to either get demoted or you're going to need to grow really fast. So personal development, and usually career development, might come a little bit before personal development. You have to grow into that role, but you should always be moving forward with your personal development. It's going to help push your career forward. But I'm so excited for you. Get a big vision for where you want to go. You are capable of more than you think you are. Do not sell yourself short. I was talking with somebody the other day, and they said, I'm not smart. And I told them, don't you dare say that. Don't you dare say that you're not smart. And they said, I'm not. I said, say you're smart. And they said, I'm not going to say that. Guys, start speaking good things over yourself. Stop speaking negativity over yourself. You're more capable than you think you are. But the difference between the successful and the unsuccessful, a lot of times, is just belief and disbelief. People don't believe in their own ability, and then there's people that do believe in their own ability. If you have belief in your own ability, you're going to be more confident in the workplace. You're going to move up. You're going to solve more problems. You're going to speak up when you need to speak up. Believe in yourself. Don't sell yourself short. Awesome. Well, this is the last video of this week. Start again on Monday. Tomorrow is Good Friday, so I'll be off doing stuff with some family and things like that. So it's going to be great. But I'm doing these daily videos right now, guys. I'm going to continue doing them. We'll see how long they last. I really, we're just starting this channel. I'm just starting this channel. I want to see if this is going to help people. If this helps people, I'm going to continue doing these daily videos. If it doesn't help people, then I'm going to stop doing it after a little while. But I want to see if it helps people. So like this video if it helped you, subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you in the next one.